morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Viewpoint on 96.3 FM WLCN. Or you can also, if you're tuning in online, thank you. We welcome you. We do welcome call-ins. The number here at the station is 217-648-5510. Before we get to our two wonderful guests in Viewpoint fashion, I want to say a big kudos to our first responders. Thank you for working, keeping us safe, risking your life, seriously, Monday through the ice storm. We greatly appreciate your hard work and dedication. So thank you very much. We have Theresa Moore and Katie in the studio today. Thank you for making it up here to the Radio Ranch again. So
thanks for having us.
Greatly appreciate it. So election time. Election is not too far off for Illinois primaries, Tuesday, March 19th. Do we get to go? Are you guys back in? I should say we'll start off first. Are you still in the Orr building right now? Do you get to go back to the courthouse with the remodel?
We hope to be moved back on Monday, this coming Monday, but we will keep both offices open so we can still be open for business throughout the day.
So I got my timeline here. When do people actually get to walk in and do the walk-in ballots and stuff? When do they can start doing
early vote starts February 8th.
February 8th, so right around the corner, just a couple of weeks away then.
So that's why we have to be back at the courthouse. So that kind of helped us push along. To get, had a timeline. So awesome. And that'll be the first day we'll start mailing ballots. If anybody signed up for a vote by mail ballot, they'll start going out on February 8th also. And we're super excited.
That's awesome. That's great. So real quick, briefly, when they come in to vote, what new decor, I guess you could say, we can start off with the easy stuff first. What do they get to see in your office that's new there?
It's new paint and it's all new lighting. So it's a lot brighter than what we had before. So
wonderful. And you said they changed the old blue to a nice white then.
Yes.
So
makes it brighter in there.
Did they change the floors there at all, or not?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Still getting bids on those, but we have to get back, so we're going to have to do a workaround on that when we get to that point.
Wonderful. So, election judges, how do we stand on that? Do we need any more election judges? Are you full? Do we need still more people to, work?
I'm gonna defer to Kate, the election judge administrator, and let her talk on that.
Well, we have a great number right now, but we can always use more. If anyone's interested, they can always get a hold of us somehow to have an extra set of alternates that we can use to kind of give our regulars a break in smaller elections. That's always helpful. And then if we have any cancellations, we can always kind of rely on those as well. So yes, we will always take as many as we can. So the answer will always be yes.
So what about, as an election judge myself, when we come after the polls are closed and we're bringing our ballots and everything that you guys need, you guys usually seem to have some young strapping lads there that helps us clean out our cars and carry things up. Do you still need workers like that for afterwards or for getting polls ready too? I shouldn't jump the gun and say after the poll closes, but getting the polls ready, are you still needing workers for that at all, Katie?
Yes, so we rely heavily on high school students, and we have been super fortunate in the past. We have a lot of good high schoolers that are always willing to help us out. So we kind of try to contact those same students to see if they'd want to help again, but always reaching out to the high schools and just seeing if they have other students. But the answer will always be yes too, because we always know things can change. So if people we had help us last time, their plans change, they can't help, it's also nice to have kind of that second set of people who can help us, and that's nice.
Yeah, especially with high school kids. Oh, they have a game, they have something else at school that comes up that night, which we understand.
And I know you feed them with pizza. That I do know, so you can dangle the pizza in front of them, and they do get fed with food. Yes. So anyway.
And on the setup part, I'm going to jump in and interrupt Kate on this part. Kate and Katrina, the other election deputy in our office, we rent our U-Haul, and these two ladies haul all that equipment out and set it up at every polling place. So when the election judges get there, all their equipment's there, set up, all their supplies are there, ready to go. But these two ladies just...
I know they do work hard, so thank you.
They just as soon I stayed out of the way.
No, not at all. Not at all. The more the merrier. We have so much fun.
You guys are a well-oiled machine. I mean, you guys really do seem like it's, from behind the scenes, so, but
good.
Thank you very much. And then we were supposed to have election judge training last night, but you guys moved that to tomorrow night then?
Yes,
So-
at 5:30 at the Knights of Columbus. So just with the weather, I think the thought was if we can keep people home and off the roads, we were going to do that. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
and so if you are interested in being an election judge and you're not currently, you could come out to the KC's tomorrow evening at 5:30 and look at the training and see if that's anything that you might be interested in.
Wonderful. That's great. So, who is on our ballot? I've been asked, several times who local. We do know, for Republican who's going to be on there, but who do we have?
We have the circuit clerk is up, the state's attorney's up, and the coroner. And we also have county board seats and precinct committeemen.
Are any of those being contested at all or not?
And I think a lot of that is because Kelly, Don, Brad, they all do a phenomenal job. So there's just, I don't think anybody's looking for a change at this point.
No, and that's great. I mean, it's a kudos to those individuals.
Oh, yeah,
So
great people, yeah.
Yeah, neat. So moving forward, do we have then, forgive me,
Oh, can I interrupt?
Yep, no, please
Sorry.
do.
Olympia School District does have 2 referendums on there. So if you're in
Oh.
Olympia School District and you want to vote for those referenda, but you don't want to declare a ballot, you can get a nonpartisan with just those referendums on there and vote. But that's just for Olympia School District.
off the top of your head, not to put you on the spot, do you know what those 2 referendums are? then?
Increasing the education rate and operations and maintenance, I think. I'm not positive.
No, I understand.
But we'll get those out.
So again, so if you don't understand that, folks, you don't have to declare a party, correct? You don't have to say Republican, Democrat. You can just come in and say, I just want to vote for the referendum if you're Olympia School District, so.
Perfect.
And that is here in Atlanta, or which of our, would there be an election for those? Where would they go for, would that encompass it for Olympia?
For sure Atlanta. I'm not sure if
How
well,
the
the
school
other small
district goes, their
precincts
small
might have a
precincts
little bit.
might overlap,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
anyway.
Wasn't
No.
prepared for that question.
I didn't mean to put you on spot, so. I know, it's always a struggle to figure out where the drawing line is for
Yes.
everything, so where your
Because
address
they
is.
are odd lines too that you'd surprise.
Right. What else do we have coming up then for the fall? So, election in the fall or not, or is it for next year? So forgive me for sounding ignorant on that question, so.
just strictly for election judges or
for
in
election
general?
in general.
Okay, so, we'll have the general election November 5th. For election judges specifically, we'll have our recertification training around that time before the general election. So if you're already an election judge, we'll have all that sent out for you and have all those fun classes where you can sign up, and it's definitely mandatory to go to that for sure.
So that
Your
is
pay.
mandatory, right?
Yes. So that kind of increases your pay. Right now, any election judge that kind of gets into the game without being certified gets paid $130 for the day. And then any judge that gets that certification will now get an extra, it'll be $65 on top of the $130 they'll receive, so it'll be $195, and that's pretty new. So that's kind of that pay, but you only get that if you come to the certification, so that will definitely be coming up.
Do you foresee in the future Logan County switching to electronic voting? Because we still vote by paper
Yes.
ballot.
Illinois is a paper ballot.
Illinois straight is. So who makes up those rules and, regulations like that? If you're going to go to electronic or if you're going to stay paper, is
It
it?
would have to be the legislator. would have
Legislators
to
do that?
Change how we vote.
Okay.
So fortunately, we still have paper ballots. We can run them all day long and get the same answer.
You don't have to work on technology and
Yeah.
backups and hacking or
Right,
per se.
nothing's hooked to the internet, it's all separate. But we do have, as you know, the touch screen. So you could, if you prefer to do that, which a lot of, mostly young people, like, oh yeah, I'll do that. But it still prints out the paper ballot, and that still feeds a paper ballot into the machine.
Into the machine,
So
into the
we still have a
tabulator.
paper trail.
Counts that then, so, yeah. Because, at some states, they do vote, they say electronically, and, some people are kind of still leery of electronics, which I understand, but we're still a paper state then,
Yes.
basically. So I don't know if that was you that, decided that, or, if it was our legislation that.
Yeah, so the whole state is papers.
Whole state is paper. What else do you see for coming changes down the road for us? Anything?
We just had a conference, and there is talk about kind of looking at other states that do all vote by mail, that you just automatically, everybody gets a ballot. It's still kind of iffy. People are, as I could see your face.
Well,
There's still a lot of controversy on that. I mean, other states do it, been doing it for years, works fine.
So when they say you will not go into a polling place then?
And I think it stems from counties having trouble getting election judges. But we're very fortunate. I mean, as you know, Dara, you've never had to work without enough people. There's just, even during COVID, all our election judges like, I'll be there.
Yeah, we all were there. So
we'll do it, yes.
Yeah.
So I know that's a struggle but obviously in bigger counties too. We need fewer judges.
Are they seeing that throughout the state, though, struggling here in Illinois, per se, for getting election judges or not?
Yes.
So they really are. Do you think it's something that Illinois may switch to or not? Or
not for a while. I think it's going to take a lot of studying and a lot of input on it.
How many, and not to put you on the spot either, did they give you a number how many states are actually doing strictly vote by mail then, or no?
4 or 5, did he say?
Really? Now, are those states that their polling places are really far to drive to, let's say like South Dakota or the Dakotas, where you're completely spread out? Is it those states, or is it your higher population states?
I believe Colorado was mentioned as just a state, so that could be
why the distance of possibly.
And just a lot of the smaller precincts too, again, not being able to find the judges that they need to sustain those, so that could be a factor in that too.
Could they combine their precincts, or had they because we here in Logan County, we have several precincts within one building to vote. Do you think that may be
because that's like you can only have so many registered voters per precinct, so they try to keep that at a number in Illinois. So I don't know if they've tried
that at all.
Those things, yeah.
What else did you learn at your conference then that they may want to try to change, or are they looking at then?
Mostly that. It was just mostly like, how do you do your vote by mail, or how do you do your election judges, like a brainstorming thing like that. Because we do forget from one election to the other. Like right now, it feels like been forever since we had an election.
It does.
Yeah, it's like, did we do that last time?
Yeah.
So it's like a refresher for us also.
How are other counties then stacking up compared to Logan County then here in Illinois with their judges to you? What did you learn?
I got the impression that we're a little bit farther ahead than most of those are.
Really?
Struggling to get them. But people are busy now, too. But I think it's the unknown, too. If you haven't been an election judge and tell you, oh, yeah, get there at 5, you might get home at 10 o'clock that night, we'll throw you $100 and some. It's not real appealing.
Right. But it's also worthwhile. It's your civic duty, I think.
Yes. And in November, it is a state holiday, so that kind of helps us have a wider pool of people that are already off that day if you choose to take your holiday and work.
I forgot about that. I forgot about the state making that a state holiday for election. So
except not for my staff.
Right.
Like, hey, girls, we got to do holiday, but you're not getting it.
No. So were they happy, or were they receptive, some of those counties, to doing strictly all mail-in ballots? Were some counties pushing for this or not?
I think it's definitely you're passionate one way or the other. Like, I felt like if you were a clerk or an employee who'd been there for quite a while, you're not a big favor of it. You like the voter coming in, the interaction. But I get it. If you have trouble getting election judges, I don't know what the other option is.
Right. But then again, they still can do mail-in, too, if they can't, so that may alleviate the traffic that they're seeing, correct?
Right.
Have they seen increases then in mail-in ballots, those other counties then?
I think everyone has, since the state implemented the permanent vote by mail. So then you don't have to ask every election like you had in the past to sign a application for a ballot. Now you just sign it, and then we just automatically will mail you a ballot on those election days.
So the mail-in ballots, forgive me, so if somebody moves into the nursing home, let's say, and they don't get your office contacted, how does one go about then voting? What do you recommend, if they're listening out there, and saying, we just moved mom or dad into either, an assisted living or to the nursing home, but they still want to vote? What should they do? What practices?
We contact all those nursing homes and tell them we put flyers out there with our numbers, dates, also contact the activity director, and so they're all fully aware of the options, and they're really good about making the new residents know, like, hey, here's what you can do.
So do the nursing homes go and get the ballots for them, or how do they?
Vote by mail.
They do vote by mail, and get them mailed to them and get them turned in. Okay, wonderful.
Pretty easy process.
Pretty easy process. So if somebody needs to get a new driver's license or something, or moves into the state, do they contact the DMV when they come to get an address changed then? And does
Yeah.
that mean, is that an automatic,
When you go to the
to
DMV,
register?
they're going to ask you, when you
Okay.
change your address, get a new, or move to Illinois, do you want to register to vote?
Okay.
But if you have done that and you've moved since the last election, you might want to call our office and check. I mean, it's computer generated.
Computers are
so
good as they are
glitches.
sometimes, so yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes we miss a connection to the state. So
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure there's no problems on election day, just call our office and we'd be glad to check to make sure we got your new address and that you are registered to vote and ready to vote in March.
So if someone does a mail-in ballot, does it have to be, do you have to have it in your office by election day, or are they allowed, are you allowed to
Post-
still accept?
Postmarked by election day, and then we have 14 days to receive those ballots, although they still have to be postmarked on election day to count.
Okay, so they're kind of relying on the postal service, so. Now, if someone does have a mail-in ballot and they think that I can't get it postmarked, the post office in their small town possibly closes at, 10 o'clock or at noon, what's the procedure? Can they bring that ballot and drop it off at
Yep.
a polling place, or do they bring it to you? What do they do?
So they have to bring it to our office.
Bring it straight to you? They can't bring it to
They can't bring it to the polling place.
the polling place?
If
Okay.
they do, then they would have to surrender it and vote there.
So, okay.
But they'd have to surrender that ballot to you, and then they could vote in the polling place. But they can bring them into our office, and there is a drop box downstairs, so you don't have to go through security.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you just run up the stairs there and put it in?
Yeah, so then it's right there at the security desk, so it's on videos, it's secure.
Yeah.
That keeps you from having to empty your pockets,
Yeah, 'cause we've
put your
had a
cell
few
phone in.
empty that all out. Because we've had a few people there at Sheridan come in with them and like, we can't take it, sorry, and try to explain that
Yeah.
to them, so.
And we are a polling place, our office is a polling place on election day, so
Mm-hmm.
we're open all day long too, so that they can bring it in.
Wonderful. So, well, if we want to take a commercial time out, pay some bills with some commercials, and callers, please call in at 217-648-5510. We'll be back in a little bit.